Here are some of the predictions for Texas. You see the FPI has this team at 9.4 and 3.2. I think they have them ranked really high, though. Top 10, I believe, maybe like number 6. So the FPI does really like Texas. They just kind of have a tough schedule. Athlon not as high on this team. 7-5. 7-5 from Athlon. The over-under is at 8.5. So they're a game and a half under the over-under, which is interesting. Normally all the predictions are, within a game. That's interesting. They're really all over the place here for Texas, and I think that's because they are so unpredictable. It's very hard to figure out what this team's going to look like. Last year, they should have been much better than their record would suggest. I mean, not even make it to a bowl game. This team was better than that. The talent on the roster is better than that. But is it going to happen again this year? Are they going to struggle again, or is it all going to click this year? We don't know. I think the offense will be really explosive. I feel confident that this team is going to score a lot of points. They've got just so much talent on that side of the ball. Defense, I do worry a little bit, and that's what's going to possibly cost them some games this year, because I don't think this Texas defense is going to be all that great. But again, so many question marks, so much uncertainty for Texas, and it's hard to pinpoint a record or a prediction for this team, but I'm going to give it my best shot. And as I've kind of been, I was at one point, and then I was at another point, and I wound up kind of going in the middle. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. All right, this is the schedule. Again, 5-7 last year. They open up with ULM. They cruise in that one. Shouldn't be a tough game at all. So I think they will start off 1-0. All right, Alabama coming up next. This is going to be a fun matchup. Of course, I think these two offenses will both score some points in this game. A lot of points, really. I talked about this in my Alabama video. It's going to be a noon kickoff Eastern time, 11 o'clock Central time there. It's going to be hot in Texas. And you have to wonder if the speed of this offense for Texas, because they're going to go fast, will they wear down Alabama at all? Maybe a little bit, but the depth on this Alabama defense is just, I think it's too much. I think they will make enough stops in this game. It's a pretty close game, not a blowout, but maybe not a one-score game, kind of in the middle there. I do like Alabama, though, to get the win. They're just too talented. Both sides of the ball, just too good. UTSA had a great year last year. This year, they'll probably be a little bit worse. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't really looked to the group of 5 teams. I haven't gone in depth into those teams. But I think Texas is just too talented. They're good enough to get this win, and they will improve to 2-1. They'll play Texas Tech after that on the road. Texas Tech is a team that no one's really talking about. They've got some options at quarterback. That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And they've got some talent. I mean, this Texas Tech team has experience on the roster, and I think that experience will get them a big win this year, and this is the one. I'm going to say Texas Tech upsets Texas. They give them their second loss of the season. The defense for Texas maybe lets them down in this one. And again, on the road, rivalry game. Something crazy happens here. Texas Tech finds a way to win it. West Virginia coming up next on October the 1st, a home game for Texas. West Virginia should be a quality team this year, but maybe not into that top tier of the Big 12. Home field advantage, I think, will be enough for Texas to get this win. A pretty close game, but I'm going to take the Longhorns. They improve to 3-2. They'll play Oklahoma next on October the 8th. Rivalry game, going to be a great one. I think it'll be really close. A lot of points. It'll be a shootout. Flip a coin here. I mean, either team could win. Really, it's hard to pick a winner. At the end of the day, this was one where I just needed to get my record where I wanted it to be, and it worked out for Texas to get a win here. So I'm going to say that they beat Oklahoma, but I'm not going to say it with much confidence because I think that game, again, could go either way. Iowa State after that on October the 15th. I'm not high on the Cyclones. I think they're going to struggle this year. I think Texas wins this game. So I've got them improving to 5-2. And again, it's all about the record here. You could easily flip Texas Tech and Oklahoma. So let's say they beat Texas Tech and they lose to Oklahoma. Either way, you're going to get the same record. Oklahoma State coming up on October the 22nd. On the road, tough place to play. The pass rush for Oklahoma State might be the difference here. I don't know if the Texas offensive line is going to be able to hold up. against that great pass rush. I think that's, if they can, the secondary for Oklahoma State's probably going to struggle this year. That's going to be the matchup of this game. But it's a close one for me, and when it's close, I usually just go with home field advantage. That's what I'm doing here. I'm going to say that Oklahoma State gets the win there. Texas falls to 5-3. They'll play Kansas State next on the road. Pretty tough environment. Kansas State will be a veteran team this year, well-coached team. I think that Kansas State gives them their second loss in a row here. I've had another loss for them. I'm going to say it comes right here, and they lose their fourth game. So 5-4 up to that point, you're starting to wonder, oh boy, here we go again. And of course, there's Kansas looming on that schedule as well. But I think they bounce back against TCU. I think 2 losses in a row there. They really focus in for this one. They're angry. They're motivated. They play a really good game against TCU, and they at least get to that 6th win, get that out of the way, and improve to 6-4. They'll play Kansas after that. Of course, last year, Kansas beating Texas, one of the biggest upsets of the season. I guess it really, at the end of the day, wasn't as big as we thought. Texas did finish 5-7. But this Kansas team this year is going to be even better, in my opinion. I think they could be pretty good, actually, compared to at least a normal Kansas year. They've got a lot of experience. They have almost more production returning than anyone in the country. A lot of guys coming back. But they're just not on the level of Texas. If Texas brings their A game, they will not lose this game. If they bring their D game or their F game, they could get upset again on the road. But I think they'll be focused, especially after losing last year. I'm going to say that Kansas falls this time. Texas gets the win, and they improve to 7-4. It's close for a while, but I think Texas will pull away. And then they'll finish up with Baylor at home. This will be a big game, potentially a game to get to the Big 12 championship. You never know. These two teams, I think, could be in that running. Home field advantage for Texas will be big in this one. That Baylor defense, what can they do against this Texas offense? They should, Texas should really have a lot of momentum on that offense by this time, by the end of the year. And I think that they will play really well. I think they'll be focused for this game. Offense is clicking on all cylinders. The speed that they go, I think that's enough to keep this Baylor defense off balance. And Texas finds a way to get it done. So I'm going to say that they beat Baylor and they finish 8-4. But like I said, you can switch these games around. Let's say they lose to Oklahoma and they beat Kansas State, or they beat Texas Tech. Maybe they lose to Baylor and they beat Kansas State. I mean, however you want to do it, it's really all about the record. And my record prediction for Texas is 8-4 in 2022.